A few days ago, I polled on my Instagram story and allowed y'all to ask any questions you want, bio questions, and personal or random questions. And so this video is answering all those random questions and personal questions that you want to know the answer to. What are your favorite movies? Okay, I'm someone who doesn't really have favorites in this space, but here are my top picks. The Shawshank Redemption, because that's a prison movie of someone who was wrongly framed and then he got sent to prison and eventually he does escape. So like seeing what happened inside and how he finally escaped, and he's innocent as well. I think that's why it was quite nice. The Dark Knight. So that is a movie that somehow, no matter how many times you watch it, it's always interesting and it's just great to watch. There's this time travel movie by Christopher Nolan called Tenet, and I think I watched that one 4 or 5 times because I was so excited about trying to understand the timeline, because you know they keep time traveling, and how the plot was like. So I had to keep rewatching to understand the whole thing. And if I had to give a favorite movie of all time right now, then I would say this one called The Case for Christ. So it's about a journalist who, his wife, right, becomes a Christian and he's not a Christian. So at first he's like, oh my wife has believed in this garbage. And so he's very afraid, right? He then decides to dedicate his life to destroying this religion, to proving why it is fake. So he goes on many journeys to interview experts in history, in psychology, in medicine, to try and disprove that, hey, whatever Christianity says and the Bible is completely false. And the funny thing is that throughout the movie, right, he actually gets more and more convinced that this is real, that everything that is said in the Bible is actually true. And so at the end, he then becomes a Christian. So it's quite a touching movie, very informative, and as a Christian myself, I like it. Is Raffles worth it for going in secondary or JC? My brother can't decide. So it seems like your brother has an option, right, to choose, does he want to go now in secondary or wait until JC and then go? Now, if you really have that option, then I would say just go as early as you can, because the portfolio impact is really big. So although it may be true that Raffles may be difficult or there's a very high peer pressure, it is worth it, because I would say I'm very fortunate that I had that on my portfolio. Without it, I'm sure it would have been much harder to first start getting students, because it definitely increased my credibility. Also, another reason to go when you are secondary school is that if you are in the IP program, they will move you to JC automatically as long as you don't fail. So it's much harder to get into RJC if you use the O-level score compared to if you're already in Raffles Secondary. When is your birthday? So my birthday is 2nd March 2002, and if you didn't already know my age, then now you can use that to calculate my age. Did you ever think of becoming a doctor? I think a lot of people ask me that question, like, why didn't you not go to medical school? Because they say I'm the perfect candidate, right? I like bio, I have the right personality or demeanor to be a doctor, and so on. And also there's the societal pressure of how like it's a high income job, it's prestigious. But ever since I started tutoring, I realized that I love being self-employed. I love the control and choice that I have over my work, rather than being tied to a job. As a doctor, right, I can only do so much as a doctor in terms of the impact I can make on humanity, but the world of business is way more appealing to me, and the impact that I can possibly make is way higher as well. If I were to be a doctor, right, the main thing that appeals to me is that I can show care to the patients, and it would be so rewarding seeing them calm down and comforted and feeling safe that now they know their diagnosis and that they are getting treated for it. But the good news is I can also get this from business as well. Whichever business I'm in, giving the customer great customer service and making them feel special is how I can get that same fulfillment of caring for someone. And right now, those are my students, so I try my best to treat them like royalty. How to know if a guy likes me? Oof. So here's what I would guess, right? If you were to go and talk to this guy, and just in a friendly and casual way, and not for too long, just talk a bit. Now, I think if he likes you, you will realize that he is delighted in your presence. He's delighted that you're talking to him, and he's delighted to talk to you. But if he kind of brushes you off and wants the conversation to end quickly and wants to get away, then that is a sign he probably doesn't. Are you single? Do you have a GF? So yes, I am single, but I am open. I'm looking for a Christian woman with very admirable character. How to get over a guy? Wow, y'all think I'm like a relationship coach or something. So I'll just tell you my experience and see whatever you can learn from it, okay? After my ex broke up with me, then I asked myself this question: did I really lose much? Then I realized that I'd been putting up with someone who I didn't really respect. I felt quite pathetic about myself for not ending it like a year sooner. So my advice number 1 is to ask yourself that, did I really lose much? Most of the time, they are immature, they have unhealthy relationships, they have many red flags and serious character flaws that you are honestly better off that it's over. Advice number 2 would be to become so good that you know for sure they regret not staying with you. There's a quote I really like, which says, success is the best revenge. So just focus on being the best person you possibly can be, living the best life you possibly can, so that you will never feel that FOMO of them not being in your life, because you know it'll be the opposite. You know that they will be having the FOMO that you are not in their life. How did you find students to teach when you first started? Okay, I used Carousel. Although it's a horrible platform to find students on, I still somehow found a few students, like 2 or 3. So, you know, Carousel, you can put posts that, hey, I'm giving tuition. Yeah, but it's not a good platform. Anyway, the main driver of how I found more students after that was this book over here. It's a book on marketing, and it taught me a very important lesson. You see, most people are trying to make friends with birds, or make the birds their friends, right? Or make the birds their pets, right? And then in order to get the birds, they try and just catch the birds with their bare hands. And that's like most tutors trying to get students. They just come to the students and it's like, hey, join my class, you know, and that's why they can't get any students. But good marketing gives people something first. So if I wanted to catch some birds, right, I'll bring a plate of seeds and then I'll put on the ground and let the birds come. Then some of the birds will like you and they will happily become your friend or your pet, because by now they know that you have good intentions towards them. So that's what I do with these videos and my free notes that I give to public, because it genuinely helps students. It's like the seeds, offering you something good. Then those who decide that, hey, they like this tuition, they want to stay, and that's how they become my students. Would you rather be a teacher at MOE or a tuition teacher? So I've never been under MOE before, but what I've heard from MOE teachers is this, that MOE has really good stability and high certainty in your income and your job, but you have to do lots of other stuff like CCA meetings, marking, admin work. But as a tutor, I have the freedom and time to truly focus on the things that help students. I can spend hundreds of hours on our notes and resources, making them really good, answering their questions and planning great lessons, which I can't do if I was an MOE teacher. And overall, my goal right now is to help students as much as I can, and so tuition would be the way to go. Now, tuition also does make more money than an MOE teacher most of the time, but it's not just about that money increase here, but that I wouldn't be able to make things like these videos and make our free notes and help students all across Singapore for free if I was an MOE teacher and bogged down with all those other things. Also, I'm always on the lookout for potential tutors to join Thatbiotutor, so let me know if you know of anyone who is interested in being a tutor here. Is it worth it to be a teacher, or is it a waste of talents? Wow, the teachers must be feeling very bad hearing this now. So a career is only a waste of talent if the skill ceiling is very low. Example, if you are doing pure admin work, data entry, even though you may be a genius, but your results will not be much different from someone who has lower skills. So in that case, it is a waste of your talent. And so why some people think that teaching is a waste of talent is because the syllabus you're teaching is quite easy compared to what you could be doing, like if you were a scientist or researcher or doing a PhD. But then to be a teacher, the skill of teaching is actually very high. I'm still improving on it, making better memory shortcuts, better analogies to explain to students, explaining things faster or more concisely so students can get it quicker, and making my explanations simpler. So to me, it's definitely not a waste of time or your talent. It's in fact very hard. Okay, that's it for this video. So if you like videos like this where I answer your personal questions, then let me know and I can make another one. In the meantime, subscribe, because there are many good videos coming up for you to help you completely free of charge. And just another announcement that at this time, I have released the 2024 Pure Bio Notes to the whole public. It has the new topic, infectious diseases. It's been updated, removing all the unnecessary content based on the 2024 syllabus, and there are many bonus stuff inside. Example, practical tips, which I will not spoil for you. So go download it. It's at tinyurl.com/tbtnotes.